Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of August 10, 2015. Mr. Steiner, would you please call the roll?
Colella.
Here.
Dixon. Here. Gibbons.
Here.
Hannon.
Present.
Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien. Pape. 7 present.
We have 7 members present. This time, can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have no chair announcements tonight. This time, I'd like to turn to the library director's report.
Where's the fire chief?
Good evening. My name is Christine. I am the director of Your Public Library, where we provide services to inform, inspire, and enrich the community. The few programs of interest that I'd like to highlight this evening. The first is Environmental Heroes, which will take place on Saturdays in August at 11 a.m. This is for students going into grades 2nd through 4th. The program includes age-appropriate games, crafts, and stories where they'll learn about farming, planting, honeybees, and how you can help the environment. Super Y Reading Program, Reading Camp, will take place Monday, August 17th through Friday, August 21st at 11 a.m. This is for children entering kindergarten this fall. Campers will reinforce their letter recognition and develop reading skills through game stories and crafts. Stories Connect Us on Monday, August 31st at 7 p.m. for students going into grades 3 through 6. Join author Kate DiCamillo and participate in fun activities based on her Newbery Award-winning book, Flora and Ulysses, The Illuminated Adventures. Students will also be given information about submitting their own work, a drawing, a painting, a poem, short story, or video, for the Kate DiCamillo Our Stories, Our Community project. For adults, we have Conversation Salon on Friday, August 21st at 10 a.m. If you're tired of TV reruns and getting lost on the internet, join us for face-to-face conversation on topics that will challenge and enlighten. Wise Walk Kickoff Meeting will take place on Thursday, August 27th at 10 a.m. Wise Walk is a 10-week walking program geared to adults 50 and older that provide participants with pedometers, walking guides, and healthy snacks. The kickoff meeting will be at the library, but then the following 10 weeks you'll meet in South Park to actually walk. Library also offers computer classes. We have group classes several times a week, usually at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Topics may include introduction to computers, Microsoft Word, introduction to the internet, introduction to email. We also offer one-on-one computer appointments. You just call the library, make an appointment with Ed, bring in your device, whether it's your camera, your phone, your laptop, your e-reader, and Ed will help you with your specific issues. A few services I just want to remind everybody about, all of which are free. You can download free music with Freegal. You don't even have to come into the library. You can do it remotely as long as you have your library card. You get 5 songs per week, and they are yours to keep. They do not need to be returned. We have Law Depot, which is a service that provides fillable legal forms such as leases, wills, divorce, separation agreements. This is also free with your library card. And of course, the library offers ebook, e-audio, and e-video. All you need is a library card and the Overdrive app, and we have over 70,000 items available countywide. That is all I have.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much. If we could turn to the police chief's report, and Chief O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Council. Good evening, everyone. On August the 4th, Bethel Park Police participated in the National Night Out. It's the first one we had in Bethel Park. We felt was very successful. We'll do it again next year. We have a Crime Watch meeting. The next one is scheduled for September the 14th, 6:30 p.m. at the Community Center. And we continue to update our Facebook page, and we would like you all to, if you haven't done so, check us out on Facebook, give us a like, and see what's going on in the community. We also have some checks to present tonight. So if they're here, is Mia here? Mia Rigotti? Carly Tanny? By Kayla Kirsch. Excellent. Okay, this is for the education, from the Education Fund. You who successfully completed the program, and this is being issued by the Bethel Park Community Foundation to you and Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania. Congratulations. Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Okay, if we can turn, I don't think we have a fire chief's report. Can we turn to the mayor's report, Mayor Allen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a few items this evening. The first one is just a reminder. We've posted it, but I think that the school calendars went out with it on. The shredding event that Senator Smith used to do, which was August 22nd, has actually been canceled. So if you could put the word out, that was at the high school, but the shredding event, August 22nd, is canceled. The end of July, the rec department put on a program in South Park, Rev 'em Up for Kids, which is a great success. There were 824 cars that showed up that day, which is incredible, I think. Over 1,000 adults, and there were over 3,000 kids that participated. The main sponsor was Pasta 2, so we want to thank Ray and Beth Piacadilla. Of course, the Recreation Department put a lot of work, time, and effort into it. Jim Gascab also headed that up. And I believe the Cool Springs sponsored Johnny Angel and the Halos. You know, if you were there, they're a great group. And the last thing I have is, because we don't have another council meeting until the fall and after school starts, Community Day is September 12th. It kicks off with a parade in front of the municipal building at 9 o'clock, and we look forward to everyone enjoying another Community Day. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor. At this time, can we turn to the approval of the minutes, and Mr. Hannon?
All righty, we have the regular meeting minutes of July 13, 2015. I move we approve the regular council meeting minutes of July 13, 2015.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of July 13th, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnol, would you please call the roll?
Dixon?
Yes.
Gibbons? Hannon?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
Colella?
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls, and Mr. Hannon.
Move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality for bill list number 081015, the amount of $2,598,452.50.
Second.
There is a motion and a second that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 081015 and the amount of $2,598,452.50. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnol, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Maury?
Yes.
Colella?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. At this time, I would like to turn to the resident comment section for non-agenda items. If you'd like to come up and state your name and address at the microphone, and we have a 3-minute limit. At the end of 2 minutes, we'll signify and ask you maybe conclude your comments.
Richard Chongway, 5027 Belmont Avenue. Looking at the agenda, reports of officials, does the borough manager ever speak and give a report about the borough? I've never heard one. Going back to the borough manager, once upon a time he assured me this type of signage would be removed 7 to 8 days after the election. I removed these from Route 88 over the weekend. They were out in the open, obvious, didn't have to look hard. Commercial speech, in my opinion, but I believe in yours, this is First Amendment rights. But the question I have is why they were there for so long period of time. I saw them, apparently everyone in this room saw them, but nobody stopped to remove them. Borough trash, highway litter, that's the image of Bethel Park. Article in the Almanac recently, Bethel Park has a deer problem. I wrote a letter to Mr. Spagnol asking for the plan for 2015. He wrote back and said it's the same as 2014. I wrote back to Mr. Spagnol and said, can you send me the plan for 2014? I'm still waiting. The question I have for everybody in this room, is there a deer management program for Bethel Park for 2015? Who's in charge? Who has the data? How many road kills? How many car accidents, property damage? How many people have been injured? What is the quota should be killed? How many have been killed in the last 5 years? Mount Lebanon had a big discussion. I believe you're all aware of it. They now have a 5-year plan. They're going to be using archers to hunt, which apparently they're hoping is going to provide sufficient kill or cull or harvest, whatever you want to call it, to solve the problem. There are skeptics to that. I would like to know what's going on in Bethel Park as far as the deer. I see them every day. There was a roadkill on Gilson on Saturday morning, roadkill on 88 on Sunday morning. Again, Highland Avenue had a doe roadkill. Who picks these animals up? Is it the people in the red pickup truck that's unidentified? No uniform? On Gilkison Road, it was being picked up by Mount Lebanon. In their truck, no, not their truck, Upper St. Clair truck. It was identified. The fellow was in a uniform. He had an ID tag. The control for Bethel Park doesn't even have an ID tag when they come out. I've trapped some animals live. They've come by. They have a little tag on their shirt, animal control. No identification beyond that. I think Bethel Park should have something in their contract that they are better identified than what they are. Again, can someone in this room explain sometime, perhaps in a town meeting setting, perhaps the borough manager, he can discuss it, the plan for 2015 deer management, Bethel Park. And I assure you that I shall attend, and Richard Gardner, who put the article in the paper, he'll probably be there also. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. I'm going to leave these here for the borough manager. He can put them on his wall as a reminder to pick up the trash along the way. Thank you.
Mr. Moran,
Mr. Harrison.
I'll tell the gentleman if he looks at his almanac tomorrow, part of his questions will be answered. I responded to the letter which was in last week's almanac, and I got a call saying that we're going to publish this week, so at least that'll give people some information on our deer program. The letter suggested we ought to learn something from Mount Lebanon, and I suggest Mount Lebanon ought to look to see what we've been doing for years. Thank you.
Yeah, real briefly, we've been doing a controlled hunt utilizing whitetail management, I believe, for nearly 20 years. The challenge we have is with the development in the community, there's smaller areas in which we can go and do the hunt. There's a whole process they go through, from a proficiency test to they've have to have a history of killing large game. So I believe, without going back and looking at the numbers, in the last 20 years, we've probably averaged about 60 deer a year that the whitetail management has taken in Bethel Park, and which includes the South Park portion of Bethel Park. So we have been doing this for nearly 20 years now. Are there any other residents who would like to speak?
Mr. President?
Mr. Dixon.
Just a quick comment. I don't know if it was mentioned or not, but the whitetail management firm that we use does not charge us for that service. We don't expend any tax revenue on thinning the deer herd.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Okay, can we turn to general policy and finance and Mr. McLean? And we have no residents signed up to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item on the agenda is approval of retirement. I move that we approve the drop pension retirement election of Police Officer Frederick Paganico with an effective date of August 1, 2015, in accordance with Ordinance 081009.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the drop pension retirement election of Police Officer Frederick Paganigo with an effective date of August 1st, 2015, in accordance with the ordinance dated August 10th, 2009. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnol, would you please call the roll?
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. Mr. McLean.
Next item is a resolution relating to reimbursement resolution. I move that we approve the resolution providing for the reimbursement to the general fund or other operating or reserved fund for expenditures associated with the design and engineering costs in connection with the acquisition, renovation, rehabilitation, equipping, and/or improvements associated with the construction of one or more facilities prior to the issuance of certain tax-exempt bonds or other financing.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the resolution providing the reimbursement to the general fund or other operating or reserve funds for expenditures associated with the design and engineering cost in connection with the acquisition, renovation, rehabilitation, equipping, and/or improvements associated with the construction of one or more facilities prior to the issuance of certain tax-exempt bonds or other financing. Real quickly, over the last several years, we have updated and done a number of the municipal facilities, a little bit of work in the municipal building, a number of parks, enhancing some of our the community center recreation opportunities. What we're currently doing right now is exploring the options of what we have with our current public works facility. The original facility, I believe, was built sometime in the early 50s. There was an addition to it in the 70s. We haven't spent a lot on it over the last 40-plus years. With the change in equipment, the condition of the building, we employed an architect several months ago to come in and look at the options. We have not made a commitment whether we're going to move forward or not. The estimated total cost for the project, including all site demolition, all site cost, is anywhere in the neighborhood of $10 million. This just is not a commitment to doing the bond issue. This is if we in fact decide to do a bond issue and move forward with any part of the project, we can reimburse ourselves out of the expense for the expenses incurred prior to the building being built. So we're going to be talking about this for the next couple months, as well as talking about the upcoming budget, which is due out September 1st to Municipal Council. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Spagnol, can you please call the roll?
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes 7-0. Mr. McLean.
We have no other agenda items under general policy and finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items?
Mr. Murray.
Mr. Harrison.
I have a follow-up to discussion last meeting. The advertiser was the predecessor to the almanac. Several years ago, the advertiser staff opted to endorse local candidates. I declined the invitation to appear, but the advertiser staff encouraged me to consent to be interviewed. Shortly after the interview commenced, an advertiser staff member stated, "The problem with you, Mr. Harrison, is that you refuse to go along to get along." I responded that that is true, and it will continue to be true. That ended the interview. The advertiser gave my opponent their endorsement. I won anyway. I think the advertiser staff did a disservice to me and their readership. The implication of the advertiser was that an elected official should go along with the majority of the governing body, even if the elected official believed that the majority is wrong. I recite this history now to highlight the fact that Mr. O'Brien is resorting to the same tactic. At the last meeting, Mr. O'Brien verbally listed a number of items that he considers need attention and suggested that I'm holding up action on these items. He is showing disrespect to the public when he wants them to believe that one member of a 9-member council, by not going along, can prevent action on an item the council chooses to act on. The illegal action by council of placing the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company tax vote on the primary ballot, contrary to the Constitution, the Home Rule Charter of Bethel Park, proves the point. Prior to the vote of the council on this issue to put the ordinance on the ballot, I spoke to the fact, well, my fingers are worked, that the action violated the Home Rule Charter. Super Lawyer McTiernan sat mum in his chair and ignored my comment. Super Lawyer McTiernan delivered in effect, the ordinance, not valid ordinance to the Election Bureau 3 days after its passage. A couple of weeks after the council voted, he added an adjective to the word ordinance in the Home Rule Charter in his opinion letter to rationalize his opinion that the action of council was legal. Only the voting public has the authority to change the Home Rule Charter. So I alleged the action of Council McTiernan were unjustified. I will continue to address the public from this dais when I judge it is necessary to keep the public informed. In particular, I will inform the public if I think any action taken by the governing body is illegal. Finally, I will not go along to get along. I will continue to vote no on any item that I believe is not in the best interest of the public. Thank you.
I'll just have a quick, I don't need to defend Mr. O'Brien. Unfortunately, he's not here this evening, but I think the point Mr. O'Brien was making, all of Don's discussion comes after the vote and everything's decided. He doesn't participate in the discussion when you're talking about doing things, as with the fire department. And what he said about the illegalities is simply not true. He may believe it, but nobody else does. I don't think the go along to get along, that's not the adage that Mr. O'Brien, I don't think, was referring to. He's encouraging to participate up front. Mr. Harrison is always a critic and never an author of anything. After everybody makes a decision, then that's when Don does his work. And it's not going along to get along. He just then decides, how can I go against what the majority did? So if you go back in history, and I'm not going to go back and read the minutes or almanacs from 20 years ago, but the reality of it is Don does all his research after the decision's been made. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion with council? Planning and zoning, Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, for the second month in a row, we have no items under planning and zoning this month.
Take that out of your pay. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, we turn to health, safety, and welfare, and Mr. Hannon, and we have no residents signed up to speak.
We also have no items under health, safety, and welfare, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hannon. Any additional items? Hearing none, we turn to public works and maintenance, and Ms. Gibbons, and we have no residents signed up to speak.
Well, I have several items on my agenda, so take that. The West Monroe End Wall Project. I move that we award the West Monroe End Wall Project for a low bid amount of $36,700 to Rhino Construction, Inc.
There's a motion and a second that we award the West Monroe End Wall Project for a low bid amount of $36,700 to Rhino Construction, Inc. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnol, would you please call the roll?
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Gibbons.
JCOG Rock Salt Contract. I move that we award the rock salt contract per agreement with JCOG Joint Purchasing Program for the 2015-2016 winter season to Cargill, Inc. for a low bid price of $69.29 per ton, with an option to annually extend the contract for 3 years in accordance with the Community Service Director's correspondence dated July 16, 2015.
There's a motion and a second that we award the rock salt contract per agreement with SHACOG Joint Purchasing Program for the 2015-2016 winter season to Cargill, Inc., or a low bid price of $69.29 per ton, with an option to annually extend the contract for 3 years in accordance with the Community Service Director's correspondence dated July 16, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Maury.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Givens.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Gibbons.
Ordinance for Park Avenue, South Park Road, Park Avenue Road intersection. I move that we approve the ordinance making Park Avenue one-way in a southerly direction from South Park Road, restricting a left-hand turn from easterly direction of South Park Road to Park Avenue, and restricting traffic on a northerly side of Park Avenue, South Park Road intersection to right turn only to South Park Road.
There's a motion and second that we approve the ordinance making Park Avenue one-way in the southerly direction from South Park Road, restricting a left-hand turn from the easternly direction of South Park Road to Park Avenue, and restricting traffic on northerly side of Park Avenue, South Park Road intersection to right turn only onto South Park Road. These signs went up last week, and I believe we're re-looking at them to make sure they're up correctly, and if we need to add any additional signs, I believe we're going to do that. Is there any other discussion? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Givens.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Gibbons.
PennDOT Winter Traffic Services Agreement. I move that we adopt the resolution authorizing the council president to execute the appropriate documents to enter into the agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for winter maintenance of state highway roads located within the municipality and the acceptance of reimbursement for providing these services.
Second.
There's a motion and second that we adopt the resolution authorizing the council president to execute the appropriate documents to enter into an agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for winter maintenance of state highway roads located within the municipality and the acceptance of reimbursement for providing these services. This is something that we've done in the past. We're just extending the contract. Any discussion from council? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Ms. Gibbons.
Additional items under Public Works and Maintenance.
Are there any additional items?
Mr. Murray,
Mr. Harrison.
regardless of what you folks think about my comments on the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company, I'll remind council, the public, and in particular the police department, that the ordinance that was just passed under item C is not effective for 30 days. So I hope people will abide by the sign, but I hope we don't issue any citations before the ordinance becomes effective in accordance with the Home Rule Charter. Thank you.
Any other discussion from council? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.